Christians are flooding into Israel right now to support God's plan for the Promised Land, and they're helping to rebuild the destruction wrought on Israel on October 7th. Yair Pinto, IDF Reserve Captain, visited some of the farms and places being rebuilt, seeing God's plan in action. You are not going to believe what these volunteers are accomplishing on their own dime. I read a wonderful story the other day online. There is a farmer in the Gaza envelope, which, for those of you that don't know watching today, are the Israeli farms that actually border the Gaza Strip. I've been there. The backyards of these farms are the fence that divides Gaza from Israel. And there's a farmer whose farm was wiped out on October 7th. And he publicized the fact that he didn't have the manpower to rebuild his farm. And a vast number, dozens of Christian volunteers came from outside of Israel, volunteered to help him rebuild his farm. The man was absolutely flabbergasted. He was so grateful that these Christian communities around the world organized volunteers on their own money to come to Israel and help him rebuild his life. Why is it that Christians will do that from around the world and come to save Israel?
Well, I think that what we've learned in this war is that there is a supernatural hate against Israel, because this is a spiritual war. The enemies cannot stand us. Even the Houthis in Yemen, whoever heard about the Houthis in Yemen march and chant death to Israel, curse the Jews? There is a supernatural hate against Israel. But on the other side, there is also a supernatural love for the Jewish people, for the people of Israel, and for God's plans for this land. And the fact that we are still here is living proof that God is faithful to his promises to the people of Israel for thousands of years, and he will be faithful to his promises to each and every one of you, because God doesn't change, and he's performing biblical level miracles today. And this is what we're seeing. And Christians want to be part of that. Christians want to come and experience the miracles of the modern state of Israel, meaning God's miracles in the modern state of Israel today. And it's just living proof that God is faithful, despite the fact that the people of Israel are not perfect, far from it, and despite the fact that many of us do not know him personally or the Messiah, Yeshua. So I think that Christians are coming to Israel to experience biblical level miracles. Like, wouldn't you want to go to Egypt to witness the opening of the sea when Moses took the people of Israel out of slavery and into the promised land? I would want to go and witness it for my own eyes, even though today we have AI and some videos that show it pretty cool, but I would love to be there. And Christians want to come to Israel and experience these biblical level miracles today. And they're doing it by helping the Israeli farmers that immediately, when they could, they were back in their farms, rebuilding and working the land. That's the difference between us and all the enemies around us. We are thinking for the future. We are sowing fruit, vegetables, trees that will bloom in 20 years from now. And we know that we're going to be here because God is faithful. So I think it's amazing. It's amazing that these people are coming. I was in the Gaza envelope communities with a farmer just 2 days ago, and he also shared the same stories that Christians came, loads of Christians, all ages, younger, older, all of them working the hardest that they can on his farm to help him with the daily requirements to maintain a farm when there were no workers. There were no foreign work, there were no Israeli workers. That was a war zone. And more than that, I also met a firefighter from Australia that came to Israel for the past 2 years to teach the Israelis how to deal with fires. Because before October 7th, Hamas launched incendiary balloons into the Gaza envelope communities to cause flames and fires to the fields. So there are many stories of Christians, and I think that's the biggest example of God's love. Just to come, give your time, and give your sweat, helping the people of Israel in this time of need.
That's a beautiful story, and I appreciate your man on the ground, as you call it, boots on the ground. I think you used to call it on your show. We don't get that here, and you being there, telling the story based on your own eyes and ears is wonderful.